In the early hours of this morning, this bizarre Nintendo Mario meme was published on the dark web, alongside this message.
Data will be published in 24 hours. P.S. I recommend to sell Medibank stocks.
A ransomware group claiming to be the Medibank hackers posting the threat less than a day after Australia's largest private health insurer ruled out paying an undisclosed ransom.
The reality is that paying the ransom is only a small chance that they would actually return the data of our customers.
The hackers threatening to publish the personal data of 9.7 million Medibank customers, including names, dates of birth, addresses, phone numbers and private health data.
There'll be a lot of Australians who are very concerned that their most sensitive and confidential medical data has actually been taken and is perhaps going to be released into the dark web as soon as tonight.
Medibank has not confirmed if the post is credible, releasing this statement.
We knew the publication of data online by the criminal could be a possibility, but the criminal's threat is still a distressing development for our customers.
I'm quite upset as a customer. Pay a pretty heavy premium, so yeah, I think Medibank should be responsible for that ransom.
No, I don't think they should be paying the ransom. I think that's giving in.
It might sort of encourage other hackers to continue doing it.
In the past year, at least 1 in 3 Australians have fallen victim to a data breach, making crime in cyberspace more common than burglary or assault. Those aged 25 to 34, the most likely victims. People's willingness to share personal data with any institution dropping in the wake of multiple high-profile data breaches.
Once you've given the data to your bank for the 100-point check or, your telco to get a SIM card, you don't control it anymore. And no matter how good your cybersecurity is, it matters what their cybersecurity is.
I think companies do ask for too much of our data.
Definitely am concerned about where my information goes and why so much information is required.
You don't really have a choice sometimes on whether you agree to those terms and conditions or not.
So as Medibank customers face an anxious wait, is protecting our privacy a losing game?
Troy Hunt is a cybersecurity expert and joins us now. Troy, we've heard a lot about data breaches and insecurity for the last little while, but this feels like a real moment. Medibank have said this is distressing. It kind of feels like something might be about to go down. If the criminals do follow through, can you explain to us just how dangerous that could be for customers?
Well, we're all sort of waiting with bated breath in the final hours of the 24-hour countdown. I guess in terms of how dangerous it could be for customers, you've got a total of 10 million people. About 5% of those apparently have some data related to claims, medical conditions exposed. That's what we're really worried about. Look, we're very worried about things like identity data for Optus, but if your driver's licence gets exposed, you go down to your local main roads or whatever your state equivalent is and you get a new driver's licence and you move on. But if something related to your personal health condition or your previous conditions or claims is exposed, you can't just put that genie back in the bottle.
Troy, is it possible that I could be contacted directly by one of these hackers?
Yeah, well, look, this is the concern. The problem now, of course, is that if all this data gets leaked publicly, it's not just the hackers, the original ones, that we're worried about contacting customers, it's everybody else. And we've seen this happen with incidents like Ashley Madison back in 2015, where 30 million plus people had their data exposed and a whole bunch of different people then popped up and started trying to blackmail them.
I know Tommy's been struggling with that ever since, haven't you?
It's
been a tricky few years
So's
for you.
Waleed. It really ruined Waleed's life for a couple of years.
Pretty good now, though.
The bit I don't get about Tommy being involved is, didn't you have to be married to be on that site, Tommy?
Well, you did, but I was using your account. So.
It does feel like companies often ask for a lot of information. If they ask for information that you're wondering, why do you need that? What's that got to do with what I'm doing and what I'm, engaging with you on? Can you just say no? Should you be able to refuse?
Look, it really depends on the nature of the company. I occasionally go and buy something from a shop and they say, what's your email address? We'd like to, put you on our list. And I'll go, no, look, I'm fine with that. But if you go along to a healthcare insurer and you say, look, I would like a policy, and they go, okay, cool, tell me your previous health conditions, and you're like, nah, you're just not going to get the policy.
Do they keep that information once you stop being a customer, or should they be able to keep that information?
Well, that's a really good question, isn't it? So look, in this sort of world of where we'd ideally like to get to data minimisation, only having what we need, you could fairly make the argument that certainly if someone had, let's say, not even made a claim, then they don't need the data. And I think what we've really got to get to, whether it's the Medibank situation or Optus before that, is what is the bare minimum amount of material that's actually needed to be retained by the organisation, not just after you're a customer, but whilst you're a customer as well.
Troy, thanks so much for your time.
Cheers, guys.